Hello friends, in this video we will go through the experiment on turbidimetric determination of sulfates. First of all, what is turbidimetry? So it is an optical method, and in this method we measure the intensity of the transmitted light, and it is correlated with the concentration of the scattering particles. Now the detector in case of nephelometry, it is placed at right angle to that of the source of beam, while in case of turbidimetry it is placed in the same path. So that is the basic difference between these two instruments. If we will look further that how the intensity of the transmitted radiation is measured, for that purpose this formula is used where the intensity of the incident light is used, and from that the intensity of the absorbed light and intensity of the scattered light is removed. Then the turbidity measurement quantity, if we have to do it quantitatively, so for that purpose we use the term turbidity value S, and it can be related with the given equation. And here we can see that the proportionality constant which we have used, they depend on the particle size and their shape. While performing turbidity measurement, we have to keep in mind that the results which we are obtaining, those should be reproducible, and for that purpose maintaining the particle size is an important task. Therefore, we have to keep in mind some considerations such as the relative concentration of ingredients, it must be controlled. Then the relative ratios of reactants, it must be constant, as well as the manner or the order of addition of the various components, it should be same. Then the nature of the solution which we are present, it we have to consider. If necessary, we need to take some protective colloids to be added in the solution, which is going to avoid the precipitation. Then throughout the experiment, we have to maintain the temperature constant. Then this method where we can apply it, so it can be applied for various inorganic cations as well as anions. And in this method there are some examples, like we can use this method for silver ions, calcium chloride, cyanides. And in these cases we can observe that, or in case of turbidimetry we know that the transmittance is proportional to the concentration of scattering particles. So that is going to be related by the stoichiometry of the precipitation reaction to the analytes concentration. So these are some examples of analytes which we can detect with the help of turbidimetry. The precipitant which we will be using for that particular type of analyte, and the kind of precipitate which is going to be produced. Now in this analytical method we are going to get a calibration curve, and for that purpose we are going to get a series of known concentrations, and the unknown concentration of an analyte will be determined. For that purpose we will be using the standard solution, and this methodology is applicable for analysis of naturally opaque systems. Then it can be used for insulin, cholesterol, hemoglobin, antibiotics, as well as various other biochemical analysis. Then now in this experiment we are going to do it for determination of sulfates in present in water sample. So the methodology includes first of all addition of barium chloride to an acidified sample, where there will be precipitation of sulfate ion as barium sulfate. Then the concentration of sulfate ions, it is should be determined turbidimetrically using an incident source of radiation of 420 nanometer. Then in this experiment we will apply the simple device, that is nepheloturbidometer, where the white light of luminescent diode will pass through the sample, and it will illuminate the photoresistor, which resistance will be displayed by universal or the popular measuring instruments such as ohm meter. Then the external standards will be used, and those will be containing the known concentration of sulfate ions, and that are going to be used to standardize the selected method. Now in case of this sulfate determination in natural water or in water samples, for low contents of sulfate ion in solution, barium sulfate forming after addition of barium chloride does not fall down, but it remains suspended in the solution and thus it causes opacity. But in case if the precipitation is carried out in dilute HCl, the opacity develops in time and it stabilizes after few minutes. Then to determine the sulfates, we will be doing the experiment usually at room temperature, because if we will increase the temperature, there may be aging of the precipitate. Secondly, addition of alcohol is done because it decreases solubility of barium sulfate and increases its dispersion, as well as addition of glycol or glycerol, it stabilizes the opacity. Then the various chemicals and solutions which will be requiring for this experiment are stabilizing solution. We can use glycerol concentrated HCl in distilled water along with ethyl or isopropyl alcohol, sodium chloride, and then we will be requiring barium chloride pure sample for analysis that will be in the crystalline form. Then we will prepare the initial solution of sulfates, where we will be taking 0.2 milligram of sulfate ions per milliliter, and we will weigh it precisely, and we will be adding approximately 0.3 gram of anhydrous sodium sulfate, which is already dried at 105 degrees centigrade. It will be dissolved in distilled water, and water will be added further to make up the volume up to 1 liter. Then we will do the exact calculation of the concentration of sulfate anions in this solution. So the experimental procedure includes first to take 10 beakers of 200 or 250 ml capacity. We will be labeling them, and as 0 to 90 you can see here, and in each of the beaker we will be taking 0, 10 ml, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 ml of in this way we will be taking the volume of the standard solution, and it is going to be containing the 0 to 4, 6, 8 in this milligram of this quantity of milligram of sulfate ions. Then by using the extract concentration of the stock solution which we have prepared before, we can calculate the exact concentration of the solution of the series. So we know that that how much milligram of sulfate ions are present in each beaker. So this is our known standard solutions. Then we will start the experiment. For that purpose, we will take the standard and the reagent blank, the one which is having the 0 ml of sulfate ions. So that is our reagent blank. And we will be taking them and we are going to treat them exactly the same fashion as we are going to treat the sample. Then in each beaker, we will add 5 ml of stabilizing solution and will complete the volume of the solutions to 100 ml by using distilled water. Then we will mix the content for 30 seconds by using magnetic stirrer, and we have to take care that it is operating at a same speed for all the samples and standards. It should not be too fast or not too slow, but it should be a vigorous stirring. Then in this solutions, then we will add 5 ml of stabilizing solution, as well as to the unknown we will be adding 5 ml of stabilizing solution. We will complete the volume of 200 ml and we will mix it during for a duration of 30 seconds. Then a portion of crystalline barium chloride is added to all the beakers using a measuring spoon whose capacity is 0.3 to 0.4 ml. So it is going to help in precipitating the sulfate as barium sulfate. Then the time begins when the barium chloride is added. So that will be the time from which we will be starting the monitoring, and the solution and precipitate will be allowed to stir for exactly 1 minute. Then at the end of the stirring period, a portion of the suspension is poured into the turbidimeter cell and the resistance will be measured at a 15-second interval for 1 minute. We will take the mean and maximum resistance. We will record it during this period, and that will be recorded as the final signal. After the measurement, the content of the turbidimeter cell should be returned to the mother beaker. So in this way, we will plot the observation table where we will have volume, content of the sulfate ions in each class. Then there will be the last one, that is unknown sample. The first one, that is 0, that is the blank one, and we will record their resistance. Then all those readings will be converted into graphical form. We will plot the calibration graph, and we will get this linear line where we have plotted resistance, again sulfate content in milligram, and we can see that the resistance of the sample was plotted against the that is calculated with the help of this linear equation, and it is found to be approximately 9 milligram of sulfate ions. So the report should contain the short description of the procedure when you will be writing the reports in your file, and the data which we have obtained, that is observation table, then the details for the unknown sample, and by using this calibration plot we can graphically determine the content of the sulfate ion in the unknown sample. In addition to that, we can also calculate it by solving the straight line equation. So this is about the method for determination of uh, turbidity in water sample, or you can say the turbidity produced by sulfates in water sample. So thank you for watching the video.